Hey, you.
Hello.
What's happening?
How are you guys doing?
Hanging
Good.
in there in beautiful. Look at this weather.
I actually think I can predict what hotel you're at based on how many times I've been there. It is, oh, what's it called? It's downtown. It's uh,
Yep.
Yeah,
it's on that little side street.
getting
It's
closer.
yeah, I can't remember the name, but I know exactly where it is. It's right near a Chopped. I love Chopped salad in New York.
I love Chopped.
Oh, is there a Chops nearby? There
There,
must be.
there is. It's about 3 blocks. I know where you guys are.
Good to
Okay.
know.
So first of all, congrats on everyone's like Chopped. What?
I
No,
know,
it
so
really
that got a reaction.
brought the room to life.
I know you really woke us up post lunch.
Everyone's
let me
like,
tell
"Oh,
you-
we have Chopped."
Chopped.
Right. For people that don't realize, it's a great salad place. People are like,
Thank you.
"What?" I'm like, "It
Thank
really
you.
is."
Thank you for saying that. I own it.
Um, so, listen, I really enjoyed this series, but I like throwing a curveball at the beginning. So, for people that have not seen anything that you guys have done, what's the first thing that you want people to watch?
Oh, wow. Of our careers?
Of our careers?
Yeah.
Wow.
I would. I mean, I love Private Life just because it holds such a personal feeling for me. That's a movie I did with Paul Giamatti, and I just it's Tamara
So
Jenkins,
good.
and I love that movie.
I would say maybe this show I did called Happy Endings, which I loved doing with my husband. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's just I like throwing the curveball at the beginning. Listen, this
Real
this show
curveball.
is this show is real good. But what's so shocking about it, well, for me, when I heard about the show, is like no one is actually going to believe that this could happen. How could this actually happen? But as you watch, you realize it's these little micro moments that all of a
Right.
sudden pull you down this path, and it could happen to anyone.
Anyone.
Can you sort of talk about that aspect of the series?
Did you listen to the podcast by any chance?
I
Oh,
didn't.
that's kind of great. Yeah, we had been talking about that before, that it is, that's why there is such a possibility. And I think Paul had talked about it last night, that he didn't start out with this kind of grand idea to take over this man's life. It just happened in these tiny little steps. Like he just had these little tiny allowances and these ways into this man who just happened to be vulnerable in just the right ways. And he talked about how there was a love between them, and that friendship just became something else. It just got a little bit dirtier and a little bit more unethical, and just a little bit like further and further away, boundaryless
Yeah.
from what it had started.
Yeah, that's also I think the series does such a great job that he's really helping him. Like this is a legit, solid. I'm
He's a good
helping this
doctor.
man. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
for people that I love learning about the behind the scenes, the making of shows and movies. What do you think might surprise people to learn about the making of the series?
Well, I thought it was interesting. We shot downtown LA for New York in the 80s and 90s and Studio City for the Hamptons.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, we obviously shot during the pandemic, so it was just a kind of strange experience to have everyone masked up. But I know so many, people are dealing with that. What else?
Yeah, that definitely. I feel like that would be a huge piece, is to know that so many of those streets that look and feel so true, and I think the art direction is so good. Um, that you feel, I was just feels so authentic, and that was something you kind of think, oh, I wonder if they're going to be able to pull it off. And I really was really beautifully surprised that people didn't know that we had it shot it in New York. So that was really that was exciting. That was a surprise to me. Also, just like how deep it got, like um, uh, it's no joke what happens to this family and this man and this partner, and like, so it's a much deeper dive than I think we were maybe had even anticipated.
Paul and Will like to make people laugh on set, and I'm just curious how many takes were ruined because of laughter.
My God, we had a day, I was telling you about it. We could not stop laughing, the three of us, to the point where we all had tears running down our faces. Then we would reset, and Michael Showalter was annoyed. He was like, Stop. And so then everyone would come together, but no one could look at each other. And then it just went around robin. Someone would, but it was past the point of like, oh, we were breaking. It was funny. It was like, now we're in minute 30.
Now the crew is like,
Yeah, the crew was like, please. And it was raining and we were outside. Like, enough of your little antics. We've had it. But I don't know, something about looking into Paul when he's laughing. I mean, happened last night.
the worst.
It's
We
horrible.
had one scene where we were in the fabric store and he had to say "thrive and flourish" to me, and every time he said it, I was like, oh brother, because it was just got longer and longer every single time, and then it was making himself laugh. Like that's the worst, is when he finds it funny, and then it's over. Then it's over.
Kathryn, I have to ask you, as a fan of your work on WandaVision, what is the status of this spin-off that they've been talking about? Do you know anything?
I'm a huge fan of Agatha as well, as you know, a huge fan of WandaVision, and as we all know, Marvel keeps it real tight to the vest. So I'm with bated breath as well. We shall see.
Is it one of these things where they're in the process of like figuring it out right now?
I can't even know that.
You're trying to get it.
I have
You're
no
getting it,
idea.
Ferrell. I see you.
I mean, look, hey, my last thing for you guys.
Anything is possible. Clearly.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Don Cheadle recently for something, and before he even said to me, he's like, they're figuring it out now. I really can't tell you anything because I don't know anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
In
my
the
last
season 3.
my last thing for the two of you. What was it about this material though that actually said, I really want to do this?
I think the actors, certainly, to get to work with Will and Paul. Sadly, I didn't have any scenes with Kathryn, but also just this story. I mean, the fact that it's a true crime, but then Georgia Pritchett's created this tone of, it's heartbreaking, it's really darkly funny. Her scripts, honestly, to me, blew me away.
Yeah, me too. I had just kind of lost a friendship that was meant the world to me. And it was over circumstances that I had thought were like about somebody, it was a very similar situation, not like exactly, but the stakes were that high for me. And so I could feel myself in the role of Phyllis so deeply. And I also just wanted to work with Will on this level. We had never been able to work like that.
I was just going to say, I got to go. Congrats on the series, for real. I wish you guys nothing but the best, and go get chopped later.
Thank you. Heading to Chop.
Chopped. What if everyone's yelling again?
Chop.
Chop.